All right, let's see if this works. How do we get this person? Oh, that's the... Ow, you little son of a biatch. How do I do this? Ow! Oh, all right, I see. Stop it. No biting. Why are you biting? No, no. Let's get one of your toys. Come on. I don't know how this works. Let's see. You made it. All right, I did it. Here you go. I'm trying. I'm trying out a Melon app because I literally, this is the first time in like a year, no, not a year, maybe like, how long have I been back on YouTube? Let me see. Months, I don't know, that I actually reached my limit, my streaming limit on StreamYards for free because I didn't pay it this year because I wasn't sure if I was coming back to YouTube. So it literally resets tomorrow. So I was like, I'm not paying for it. I'm just not doing it. But now I don't have a picture. I don't have a picture. How do I make a picture on here? So I was like, oh, I'll try something else for today. But I have no idea how to make a picture. Can you guys hear me? Let me see. Oh, look, you could still show. All right, so it's like the same thing. But I don't have a picture. I'm just like a weird smiley face. How the hell do you put a picture on here? I don't even know if I can, so you're gonna have to deal with no pictures for today. Because I have no idea how to do it. It looks like me, right? Looks just like me. I have no idea how the hell you fix that. I'll probably end up paying, but I'm like, I don't normally go live this much. I've just been bored with this puppy. Like, I can't really do anything, trying to get him settled in for the last week. So I can't really do anything. Stop biting. You got me mad. Stop. Here, bite that. Redirect. How is everybody? Ow! You little monster. Stop it. Hey, you're going to go in your little pen, okay? No biting. Stop it. Dude, you kidding me? Stop. No. Hey, stop biting or I'm not going to be your friend. Ay, ay, ay. Here, bite that. Oh my God. So last night I fall asleep on the couch. I've been sleep. Ow, you son of a bitch. Sorry, he just bit my toe and that fucking hurt. Those sharp teeth. So last night, like he's been really good for the last like week and a half, waking me up in the middle of the night if he has to go out. So I was sleeping on the couch with him downstairs because I'm not sleeping with him in my bed. Like, there's no way. I'm like so bad, dude. I'm such a pushover because I'm like, I can't put him in a crate and make him cry. He just got here. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to like traumatize him. So for the first week, I've been sleeping on the couch with him and he's been really good. He's like crawls up on me. And then if he has to go out, he like wakes up. And then I wake up, I take him out and then I bring him right back in. So he's been pretty good. Well, last night I was sleeping, obviously, so I had no idea what was happening. Normally, when my husband gets up for work, he wakes me up like at 5 or like 5:30, and then I bring the dog out, and then 2 nights he didn't want to go back to sleep. Well, 2 days, but he was pretty good this week. So this morning I wake up and I look at the clock, like first thing, because that's what we normally do, right? And I'm like, what the hell? Like it was like 7 o'clock. And I'm like, yo, dude, go finish your food. Stop eating me. Here, come on. Look, finish. You didn't finish your breakfast, buddy. Gotta eat your puppios. Gotta eat your puppios. There you go. So I like woke up. I'm like all disoriented because I'm like, how the fuck is it 7 o'clock? And I'm just waking up for the first time. And I'm like, just like, where's my husband? Like, where is everything? I'm like, he didn't wake me up because he normally wakes, the dog wakes up. My husband wakes me up. So all of a sudden I look down and there's like, dude, I don't even know how this dog peed this much. All over the floor. It was like a river, like going across my den. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, and he must have done it after my husband left because there's no way my husband didn't see that. Like, it was literally, my house ain't that big. So it was literally going across the whole entire floor. And I was like, oh, shit. So I was like, all right, I think it's time to start crate training. I got him yesterday. I bought a puppy playpen. We went to Petco, and it was crazy. This was crazy. So yesterday, my husband's like, oh, I want to go to Petco, and I was like, well, so do I. So let's go together. So we're like made it like a whole family trip. Bring the dog, Jesse. So we're about to leave, and I'm standing outside, I'm smoking a cigarette, and I see these like clouds rolling in, and I'm like thinking, oh shit, looks like it's gonna storm, you know? So then all of a sudden, while I'm sitting up there, like, dude, the wind just like kicked up, the temperature drops by like 10 degrees because it was hot yesterday. And all of a sudden, I mean, like the wind was crazy. I was like, what the hell is going on? And it only lasted for like 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden it was like, I went downstairs. My husband was downstairs. I'm like, Chris, we have to go. We should probably leave now before it looks like it's going to downpour, I'm like, it looks like it's going to rain. There's little clouds moving in. So he's like, all right, hold on. He was we have, trips coming up for Jesse's hockey. Not, I'm talking like coming up in the winter. And for some reason, they're booking the hotels already. So Chris is like, hold on. He's like, I'm trying to book this hotel. So just give me a couple minutes. So I was like, okay. Then our friend called, one of our friends from hockey. So he's on the phone. And I'm like sitting here like, come on, we better go before it gets fucking worse. But then all of a sudden, the sun just came back out. It was like the weirdest thing. So we finally got in the car and we start driving and we get down by like the main road where the Petco is. And I'm like, dude, it looked like a fucking war zone. I mean, there was trees down. There's like ambulances everywhere. There's not ambulances, fire trucks everywhere. There's fucking smoke. We're like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? You know, it looked like a fucking tornado hit. Like that's what it looked like. Well, sure enough, that's exactly what happened. There was a little tornado touch ground over here, which is crazy because we don't. My whole life, dude, I've never heard of a tornado on Long Island. Like the one thing I like about Long Island is that number one, you don't get, we really don't get earthquakes. The worst thing that we get is snowstorms, blizzards, and then the occasional hurricane, that's it. So, and hurricane season's usually only from like August to like November. And like, that's probably even like too long. And we'll get some like tropical storms most of the time. Like in my entire lifetime, we've got hit with two pretty bad hurricanes. We got Gloria back in the 80s and then Sandy. And then there was like another one that was pretty bad, but not as bad as those two. Those were probably the worst two that we ever had. So like we're not really like we don't really get tornadoes, earthquakes, like shit like that. But in the last 10 years, there's been like a few tornadoes here, which is scary because like we don't usually get those. But yeah, it was really fucking weird. So good morning. So yeah, so there was like, so I then later on I was telling Hummingbird about it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm glad you guys didn't drive." And I'm like, "Holy shit, you know what? She's right." Because I was thinking about it. I'm like, if we would have left when I said to leave originally, we would have got caught in that shit. My husband would have, if he wasn't booking the hotel and all that, and our friend didn't call, then we would have got caught in that shit. That's fucking scary. You guys have been getting them too, upstate? Yeah, see, it's fucking scary. Excuse me. Excuse me. You need to stop biting my suitcase. Get down. 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 This is yours. This is what you play with. Here. No, you're biting. So, yeah. So it's been one of those days. No, he was actually fine, Cece, which could change, He was all right with the heart, like the thunder. So Snoop was terrified of that shit, dude. Snoop did not do good with fireworks, thunder. Stop biting me. Stop it. You're going to go in your little puppy pen. Come here. No. No. Here. That's what you bite. You're biting the wrong thing, dude. Or this. Here. Look. Come here. Hold on a second. I was trying to give him something to chew on instead of my sleeve. My legs. Good boy. Good boy. I got him one of those, we got him one of those reindeer antler things. I'm chew on that thing. We were under warning just last week. It's odd because they didn't come here when I was growing up. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, never in my life was there a tornado. There was one earthquake here, and it was like 10 years ago. And I was at work, and it was crazy because, like, I had left for lunch, and I come back to work, and everybody in my office, it looked like somebody, like they saw a ghost. I walked back into the office, and everybody's, like, standing up. And, like, they're all looking around. Everybody looked, like, all weirded out. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, you didn't feel that? And I'm like, no. They're like, there was an earthquake. I'm like, yeah, okay. I thought they were fucking with me. I was like, yeah, okay. They're like, yeah. They're like, no, there really was. The whole place was shaking. Everything was shaking. And I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, an earthquake on Long Island? Sure, guy. I'm like, I believe you. And they're like, no, really, there was. And sure enough, there was. But I was in my car, so I didn't feel it. I was driving back to my job when it happened. And, like, I didn't feel anything. So, but, like, that was the first time in my life that I ever heard of an earthquake. One idea for teething dogs are frozen carrots. That's a good idea. He's actually chewing on his little thing. They gave me this puppy. It's gross. It's goat milk. But the lady was telling me to, like, defrost it and then put it in ice cube trees and let them, like, chew on that when they're teething. He's fine now. He's chewing his little bone. I've never seen an earthquake here. We're on sand. So, like, the places where they have earthquakes normally, you know, they're on, like, rock. We're on sand. We're on, like, a big giant sandbar, basically. So it's very rare for earthquakes to happen here. That was, like, the only time in my whole entire life I ever even heard of an earthquake. It was like nothing, I'm sure, compared to what they get in, like, California. But nevertheless, it was still an earthquake. And it was still scary. No. Don't you start biting me again. Go play with your bone. Come on. Come on. So, yeah, we're going to have to start crate training, which is going to be harder. I don't know if it's going to be harder for him or for me. I'm, like, the worst, dude. Even when Jesse was a baby, like, I couldn't deal with the crying, so I just picked him up all the time. But that's, like, bad. You know, they say to, like, cry, let them cry it out. But I was like, how do you just let a little baby sit there and cry? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially with the baby, like, they just start crying, and it's like, so, stop biting me. Stop. No. Stop biting. Come here. Come. There you go. Chew this. Not me. You bite, and mommy's not going to hang out with you. We're not going to be friends. Here. So, what do you call it? I just couldn't do it. I'm like, I don't know how people do this. I don't know how they just leave the baby there and let them cry. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I'd pick him up every time he'd start crying, which is bad because then you're basically teaching them that if you cry, mommy's coming. But I just couldn't deal with it. Like, I'm like, I don't know how people just, like, leave their kids and fucking shut the door and let them cry. I just cannot do it. But guess what? He turned out okay. So, hey, Nana. Dude, we're going to have a problem today. Come on, why don't we go outside? And you can chew things outside, because I don't care what you chew outside. Come on. I couldn't do the cry it out method either. No way. I basically warned my babies. That's what I did. I had a little sling. I bought this little, I don't suggest it. I forgot what it was called. It was some kind of sling that you tie around you, and you put the baby in it. And that's what I used to do, is just put him in this little sling thing for a little bit until he got too big for it. But that thing I wouldn't suggest, because, like, if you're going to carry your baby or wear your baby, I would suggest get one of those, like, real backpack things, because that thing always felt like it was, like, just not secure enough, you know? But he loved it. Jesse used to be like, he cried so much, dude, that kid. He had the worst colic when he was a baby, and he had to be in motion constantly. So, like, I used to walk, my living room and my kitchen are connected, and there's two doorways. So I used to walk around in circles with him in the stroller and just like for like hours just to stop him from crying. Dude, I'm gonna kill you today if you keep biting me. Come on. Stop it. Come on. Come on. Look out. Come on. Come on. Oh, speaking of I'm gonna kill you, right? So here, take the little toy and go over there. Because you're driving me nuts right now. You're driving me nuts. He can't even like I went to pick up dinner last night and he literally was like crying the whole time I was gone. With my husband. My husband and my son are home and he's crying for me. Because now he's getting too used to it. That's another reason I gotta start crate training is because he's getting like too used to being right up my ass. And I don't want to do that because he's got to learn that I'm not going to be here all the time. So, no. Dude, stop biting me. Come on. Didn't have allowed that. What do you mean? Mine was on the hip. Remember that? Like having to carry your baby everywhere? My back used to be like killing me. You have them on like one hip, then the other hip. That shit, it was... No wonder why our backs are all fucked up when we get older. Carrying babies around. They're fucking heavy, dude. Even when they're only like 10, 15 pounds, that's a lot to be carrying around, for like hours on end. Especially when you have a stage 5 cleaner like Jesse. He literally like just could not be alone, and I don't want to do the same thing to my dog. I couldn't walk out of the room. When I walked out of the room, that was it. He would start crying, and then I couldn't take it, so I'd come back, I'd pick him up, and created a bad habit. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my thing. They didn't have all that. Dude, even since I've had Jesse, it's only been, he's going to turn 10 this year. It's only been 10 years. I can't believe how much more baby stuff they have than when I was, when I had Jesse. Come on. Up, and that's it. Stop biting. Listen, you bite, I'm not sitting with you, dude. Here. I don't want to be near you if you're biting. You got to bite by yourself. Oh, my God. He gets into like these little moods where he'll just start biting and then he gets over it. Right now he's in the biting mood. Come here. Terrorist. Here you go. Here. So anyway, yeah. Last night I'm listening to was it Starlight? No, it was Mandolin, I think. Was live. Starlight was on panel and Stephanie Brown. And they're talking about Tracy. And dude, these people just like seriously blow my fucking mind. So I saw it yesterday before I even knew that they were live. I'm like scrolling down my feed and I'm not subscribed to Tracy. I don't think I am, but her thing shows up in my, my feed, I guess, because I watched her video the other day. So I see that she posts Starlight's mugshot that we've all seen already, but whatever. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like, why? Why are you doing this? So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What did I miss? Like, I must have missed something. So I go to Starlight's channel and I see that she made a video. It was kind of funny where she's showing Tracy's, hernia and everything like that. But all stuff that Tracy showed herself here on YouTube, right? That she shared here on YouTube. So I was like, in a sense, I'm thinking in my head, well, touche, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys know how I feel. If you're going to go after somebody, then you got to expect them to come back. So in my head at first, I'm thinking touche, with Tracy. Like, I even left a comment on her thing and I was like, come on, Tracy, this isn't cool. As I'm writing back to Republican Ash, who's like literally like egging this shit on, and her comment made no sense. And like, I've never had a problem with Republican Ash, but like, I do notice that when Republican Ash doesn't like somebody, like she does tend to hyper focus on that person. And so she writes this whole big long thing about, and it made no sense to me. Her logic made no sense to me. It was basically how, oh, well, you said this about Tracy's mother, right? And don't even use the excuse that Tracy was trolling as your father back whenever 2 years ago because she apologized and this and that. And so basically what she was saying, or at least how I took it, was that Tracy's allowed to be upset about some shit that was said a year ago about her mother, but Starlight's not allowed to be upset about something that was said a year ago or whatever it was. Now, all right. So I'm sitting there thinking about it and I'm like, well, that's not really fair. You know, like take your personal feelings out of this. Take your personal feelings out. I know you have this disdain for Starlight, you know, but take your personal feelings out of this for just a second and think about the whole situation, right? Mind you, I didn't know Starlight made that video. So while I'm saying this, but I'm like, think about this whole situation. First of all, Tracy called her fat. Like, go back to how this all fucking started. Well, if we really want to go back to how everything started, what we have to do is we have to go back to the fact that T-Belly has been going around, right, starting dumpster fires basically everywhere. So she's going into people's chats, you know, leaving rude comments. She's making videos about people. And so rightfully so, people are responding to those videos. Dude, you're going to kill me today. Can you stop biting? Here, take that and bite that. You can't be on top of me. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's going around starting these dumpster fires. People are responding to her. And then all of a sudden she's somehow becoming the victim. And then you have people like Tracy who aren't even involved necessarily in the whole situation, but she's getting herself involved. Stop it. Listen, stop biting me. You're getting on my nerves today, little guy. Come on. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, none of this would be happening if it wasn't for that woman, because she's the one who originally started everything. So you take that, and then you got Tracy's, for whatever reason. All right, T-Belly said something about Wendy, you know, called her one ton and was talking shit about Wendy. Wendy and Randy responded, talked shit about her, you know, and then for whatever reason, Tracy decides to get herself involved and call Starlight a fat ass. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why she did that. Like, I really don't. Because I don't even think Starlight was in that chat. So, like, Tracy, like, has to look at the whole situation. Like, none of this would be happening if you didn't butt your nose in and defend your friend who's going around starting dumpster fires everywhere and being rude and obnoxious to people. You know, that's why this is all happening. Like, Starlight hasn't, as far as I know, hasn't spoken about you. You just decided to call her fat ass the other day. So that's on you, you know, in defense of your friend who started shit with people. Here you go. So I'm like, hey, hold on a second. All right. Stop biting. Stop biting. Come here. Now you're going to go in here because you're annoying me. Here you go. Puppy time out. You can bite in there. Oh, bye-bye. You want to bite people? You go in there. The new rules. You're going to bite my legs all day. Hold on. Just trying to get him in this little playpen. Let him get his biting out in there. Come here. Here. Here's your bone. Here you go. Here you go. No more biting me. You have to stay in here until you stop biting. So, yes, bully sticks. I know. I had those for Snoop. Well, you shouldn't bite people. Here. Here's all your toys. Get your biting out. And then you could come out when you stop biting. Nope. Nope. No biting. You're biting. Yeah, she called Starlight a fat ass. So it's like, Tracy, this is your own fault. Like, so I'm like, I always have to go back to, like, how did this shit start? It started by you doing that, by your friend. You know, like, none of this would be happening But it's like, did they start this on purpose? Then I start asking myself, like, were you just bored and you just started some shit on purpose to have something to talk about? Like, because that's what basically it seems like. Or maybe I'm wrong. But her friend is the one who started all this shit. She's the one who started it. You hear him crying in there? I put him in the little thing. See? And I can't handle it. I hate hearing him cry, but he's got to learn. First of all, I had this week, I'm working on putting him in like the crate or whatever, just isolating him because he's got to learn that he can't be next to me at all times. You know what I'm saying? I hate doing this, but I have to. She does just seem miserable. She came at me, know your business. Tracy, when though? Like a year ago? Let's talk about the whole like your mother's a whore thing, okay? I don't agree with it, all right, because of the whole situation, but like I feel like it was like I feel like that's like one of those things. Like I said it to Wendy a long time ago, and it just came out because like that's the way me and my friends talk to each other. Like when we'd fuck around and mess around with one another, I'd be like, "Oh, go fuck your mother" or something. Like that's how we talk to one another. So like it just came out while I was fighting with her because but I don't literally mean that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a saying that kind of just came out of my mouth while I was angry. And I feel like it was the same thing with Starlight. She doesn't know your mother, so obviously she wasn't talking about her, but it's like one of those things that like, I don't know, maybe it's our generation that when we were growing up, like that was the kind of banter we had with one another. You know, me and my friends, like we'd be like, "Oh, go fuck yourself. Your mother's a whore. Your sister's a whore." Like that's how we would like banter with each other. You know, so I think it just came out, but everybody's like, "Oh my God, she attacked your mother." I don't think she like literally meant it towards Tracy's mother. She doesn't even know Tracy's mother. So how would she know what Tracy's mother was like or if she's a whore or not? It's like one of those things when you say go fuck yourself to somebody. Do you really literally like expect that they're going to go fuck themselves? No, it's just a saying. And I feel like it came out like that. But unfortunately, we have to be careful on here when we say shit like that, myself included, because you could offend somebody. You don't know if somebody's mother is deceased or not deceased. You know what I'm saying? And so like saying that to somebody could have deeper effect on them because their mother's no longer with us. So you can't say shit like that. But come on, she wasn't saying it with meaning behind it. I mean, give me a break. Why do people say they don't watch when they do? I don't know. Listen, I'll totally admit it. There's times Starlight has used it constantly. Yeah, right, exactly, because she knows it bothers you, Tracy. She says it because she knows how inflamed it gets you now at this point. She's just like, she knows how fucking crazy it made you. So of course she's gonna say it. It's just Tracy. Listen, you don't have to listen to me, but like look at the difference in your guys' age. And I'm not saying you're old. I'm saying that she's 39, right? And I don't know how old you are, but I know you're above 50, right? So like you gotta like either you gotta come to a point where you're like, this isn't worth me fighting with this 39-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Or you could stoop down to her level and do the same shit as her. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your choices. You could either be the better person and just be like, you know what, I'm tapping out on this one and not gonna sit here fighting with a girl that's like half my age, less than half my age. But you know what I'm saying? Or you could and show her what it's like to be a mature woman, or you could stoop down to her level and post her, mugshot. You hear this little pupper? I want him to calm down before I go in there. He has to get used to being in this crate. If someone knows something bothers you, they will use it over and over. And as long, listen, dude, there's people that say the same shit to me over and over again, like my teeth, right? How many times do people come after me and they're like, fix your teeth? Dude, do you think I don't know what my fucking teeth look like? Because I'm well aware of how fucked up my teeth look. Like, there's no, like, I have a mirror. Every time I look in the mirror, you don't think that I look in the mirror and I'm like, ugh, I gotta fix this shit. I don't have the money to fix it, to be quite honest with you. And whatever money I do have, I don't care if my teeth are straight at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather put that money towards my son's hockey. Or you ready to come out and stop biting? Come on. Come on. Let's go sit outside like a good boy. Come on. You know, I don't want to leave him in there too long. Come on, let's go. Up on the couch. Let's go. Thank you. See, good boy. No biting. No biting. Whee! You good? Aw. You're biting again. Got that mouth open. Here you go. Good boy. Good boy. Take this. Good boy. So, I mean, I don't know. It's up to you, Tracy, like how you want to portray yourself on here. I'm just saying, I don't know. Listen, it is what it is. If you're going to say something about somebody, they're going to come back at you. And it goes both ways. But it's up to you how you respond to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of times on here where people have come after me and I've just fucking ignored them because I'm like, they're not worth it. There's certain people on here I completely ignore at all costs and I don't even respond to, because in my head, I'm like, this person's just fucking crazy. They're mentally ill and they're not even worth a response from me. I'm not going to fight with somebody who's not on my fucking level. You know, and I'm not saying like I'm better than them. I'm saying that they're fucking crazy and I'm crazy too, but I'm a different kind of crazy. They're like mentally ill crazy. So I'm not going to fight with that person because they're not on the same level as me, dude. Mentally, you know, they're just not. I'm not saying like you have to do that, but you have every right to defend yourself. Everybody does in any way that you want to. You know, but just know that if you're going to do some shit or say some shit, you don't get to choose how the person responds to you. So if you hurt somebody's feelings and you call them fat and they go and they make a fucking video, you know, with some screen grabs that they took while you were live, you know, here's the other difference too. What she used was from YouTube. She kept it on YouTube. You went and got her fucking mugshot that's not on YouTube. She never shared that on YouTube. Other people did. And then you use the excuse, well, it's been out for years. Okay. But that's not a YouTube thing, dude. You did that. You went and got that. It is crazy. And I really just sit there and I say to myself, I'm like, these are like Mama T Belly, right? The way that this woman behaves, I don't know how old she is. But if I had to guess, she's in her late 40s, early 50s. And I just think to myself, like, these are fucking women that are fucking like a decade older than me. And they're acting like fucking children, like clowns. It's embarrassing. Like, I'm embarrassed for them. Truth, you try to parrot Starlight, you could only change your behavior. Yeah, that's exactly it. I don't know what comment she made to you know, that your response was that she had a fat ass, but all right. I wasn't there. I asked about 3 times and everybody else seems to be as confused as I am. It is selective. You were so bothered by her. Either get over it or block her, damn it. It must suck to just be internally mad. The video doesn't bother me. Tracy, that's a lie though. That's a lie. Because you went, your response lets us all know that it bothered you. Because you went and you're like, let me go find the most embarrassing picture of this person that I can. You know, so let me go. And you also shared didn't you share? Or no, maybe that was somebody else. Never mind. I'm not. Forget it. But you're like, let me go and find the most embarrassing picture I can of her where she looks horrible, which I don't personally think she does. I don't think anybody looks good in mugshot picture. They're not meant to be glamour shots, okay? They're meant to fucking look horrible. They don't have good lighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not there for fucking glamour shots. You're there for a mugshot. No, nobody looks good in their mugshots. Like, maybe Paris Hilton, but most people don't look good in their mugshots because they're either crying or they got their asses kicked by the cops or whatever the situation. They're using drugs at the time. Nobody's like meant to look good in those things. But like, I don't even think she looks bad in that. So she's got some dark circles under her eyes. Join the club. So do I. I got them shits every day. Fucking had them since I was a kid. They're hereditary. But anyway, if I don't put some concealer on them, I got the same bags under my eyes. But anyway, you can't say that it didn't bother you because, I mean, your response kind of says that it did. I don't know when they spoke on your son. I didn't see that. I tried to listen to T-Belly video. I couldn't hear her, so I gave up. She needs to move. Yeah, her phone, I don't know. It's like she dropped it in some brownie mix or something. It's like really hard to hear. She needs to clean the microphone out on her phone or use earbuds or whatever the fuck. Truth, why are you still hurt by trolling comments? You're not new. You want to control her. Stop it. Dude, stop. No biting. I don't know why you're biting me so much right now. I don't care if he bites my clothes. I have shorts on right now. He's biting my legs. It hurts. Come here. Come here. Come. Come. There you go. Oh, what a good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Get your bone. Good boy. I mean, I don't know, Tracy. It's up to you how you respond. I'm just saying, when I'm an outsider, right? I'm not involved in the situation, but like, you have to go back and look at how this whole thing started. And it all started because your friend, Mama T-Belly, went around lighting dumpster fires everywhere. Like, you and I wouldn't have had an issue, right? If she didn't come in my chat that day and share her fucking rude ass opinion in a rude way. You know what I'm saying? There was no need for that. All right, I get it. Some countries don't, they frown upon. I'm well aware of the controversy surrounding cropping Doberman ears. This isn't my first rodeo. I had another Doberman. I totally 100% understand that it's illegal in other countries and that they don't do it. But I live in America. I paid a lot of money for my dog, and I want him to look how he's supposed to look as a breed standard in my country. And I'm sorry if you don't like it, but and I'm sure there's a lot of people overseas that don't like it. Too bad. I don't agree with everything that they do either, but you can't control people in other countries. That every country and culture is different. Stop trying to push your fucking beliefs on me. I don't go over in her videos and look at her videos and say, oh, well, your puppy's ears are fucked up, or I didn't even know she had puppies that day. You got yourself involved in that situation for whatever reason, right? And of course I reacted to it. That never would have happened if she didn't light that dumpster fire to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And then you just, for whatever reason, chose to get yourself involved in it when it had nothing to do with you. I get it. You're trying to stand up for your friend, but she's a big girl. Literally, she's a big girl. Both figuratively and literally. She got a big mouth, that one. Plus, you also forget the fact that, I believe that she's the person who pointed out that there was a video doxing me to Laura, who then shared it on her stream. So, I'm not too happy with this woman. I don't fucking bother her. I didn't even know she was still on YouTube. She's not somebody that I think about on a regular basis. Keeping dogs outside is super controversial and frowned upon here. She had a huge outside crate for her old dogs to live in. Oh, really? Yeah. See, that is very controversial. You know, here you're supposed to, if you get a dog, I mean, there are people that leave their dogs outside all the time. I think it's cruel. You know, I think that, you know, if you don't want to make a full commitment to having an animal, then you shouldn't have one, especially in overseas, because where she lives, I'm not sure exactly where she lives, but it fucking rains a lot there. So I hope she has a covered kennel for them. You dropped your bone? Yeah. Dude, you're really killing me today. No, yeah, it's not good to leave the dogs outside in the heat. In the heat and the rain, I don't leave my dogs outside. I had a friend growing up who he had a pen in the backyard. He used to leave the dog in the pen, and I used to be on his ass all the time. Like, you can't leave the dog outside, dude. If you didn't want a dog that was gonna live in your house, then you shouldn't have it. Give it away. You know, give it to somebody who will love it. Like, why the fuck are you keeping a dog outside in a really small enclosure? I mean, I don't know. Not for me. That's not for me. I don't know what the fuck she does with her dogs, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not my business, dude. I'm not the dog authority. And here's the funny thing, I do understand that different cultures do different things with their pets. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna. I really like. I watch videos of these monkey channels, okay, that are in like Cambodia and Thailand, and these people don't even put their dogs on leashes. There's stray dogs all over the place, just like there's like stray cats here. There's stray dogs everywhere, and they're just roaming around Cambodia. Nobody, they don't treat their animals the same way that we do, you know. And it might anger me, but at the same time, that's their culture. Like, I have to kind of keep that in mind. As far as monkeys go, that's a whole different story. I mean, they're not supposed to be domesticated. They're wild animals. You know, you take a monkey in as a pet, and you're looking at 30 to 40 years of a commitment. Most of these assholes don't do that. They only keep them until they're little babies, and then they give them away, or they release them back into the wild, where they usually get either really hurt or killed. So, you know, it's a totally different thing. So, you know, she came in here that day comparing the two, and I'm like, there's no fucking comparison, because what dogs are domesticated animals, they're pets. Everybody has dogs in every country as a pet. Monkeys are not supposed to be domesticated. I understand that they're pests in some countries, but they're really not meant to live in people's houses. And if you're going to make that commitment and keep a monkey in the house, then you need to know that it's going to be a lifetime commitment. If you're 20, you're going to have that monkey until you're about 60 years old. And you need to know that. Otherwise, you shouldn't have a monkey. But unfortunately, I've seen it too many times that these people, you know, just let their monkeys go. What happens is they go into the wild. Monkeys run in troops, right? They run in these troops. It could be anywhere from like 10 monkeys to 500 of them. And there's a hierarchy system. So there's like the monkeys that are at the top and the monkeys at the bottom. For a male monkey, especially, it's extremely dangerous for them to try to assimilate into troops. They usually get attacked. Um, I mean, to me, the younger you release them, the better chance they have of survival, because when they're really young, sometimes another mom who doesn't have a baby will, you know, basically adopt the baby if it's released, you know, depending on its age. But that doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes these babies starve to death, you know, sometimes they're just isolated. When they get dropped off around like 2 years old into these troops, they get attacked because they don't understand the hierarchy in the troops. So they don't understand that they're on the outskirts of the hierarchy. And when there's food around, they're going to be the last ones to get fed. And so more often than not, they end up with serious injuries or dead. They get attacked by the whole entire group. I mean, you can Google it. There's just Google abandoned monkey, and you'll see what happens to them. There's an entire troop at the Angkor Wat temple right now of abandoned pet monkeys. An entire fucking troop. There's like 30 or 40 of them in this troop. But don't compare that to me, you know, cropping a dog's ears, because it's not the same, dude. People's been cropping ears for the centuries, a million years, dude. And the dog's fine, and he's gonna survive and be fine, and he's gonna have a nice long life, just like my other dog with cropped ears did. No, I certainly don't have. That's the whole thing. People get these monkeys. They don't realize that even at their full maturity, it's like having a 4-year-old for life. You know? I mean, I watch this one guy who has monkeys, and I mean, I don't like. He got a younger one now that he rescued, and I stopped watching his channel for a while because like he keeps this thing on such a short leash, and like you can see that the monkey's a little distressed because they're when they're like running back and forth, you know, constantly, and they look real nervous, that means that they're distressed. When they're sucking their thumbs, that means they're distressed. And you know, it was getting me distressed watching this for a little while. The reason I don't criticize him is because he has 2 adult monkeys that he's had for almost 20 years now, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, I might not agree. At the same time, that monkey was already brought into a domestic situation, and so now it can't be released back into the wild. So you know, it's in the best care that it can be for the situation. I mean, ideally, even when they go to sanctuaries, they're still kept in cages. So it's just sad. But, you know, fucking Mama T Belly comes in here and she's like, oh, you're something about monkeys in Cambodia. Meanwhile, she doesn't even know the story. But, um, you know, but you crap your dog. That's barbaric. Like, there's just no need for that. I don't go around in her comment section, or anybody else's for that matter, in this community and share my negative opinions with them. I just don't do that. So, like, what the fuck? Why are you even bothering me? And this is 3 days later because she was trying to dig for some information. Okay, when she came in my chat that day, it was 3 days after she came into my comment section on 2 different channels and was like trying to find out, like, what's the tea about this monkey channel thing, you know, like, what's going on? And then the next day, Laura's sharing the video that she just left a comment about that doxes me. So she could fuck all the way off, Mama T Belly. Of course she said it to piss me off because she didn't get the attention that she was looking for from me. Because I just fucking saw her comment and I was like, click, delete, bye. I don't know you a fucking explanation, Mama T Belly. Who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? I don't fucking know you anything. I don't even know you, bitch. I know you're fucking angry. I got that. That's an angry person right there. To me, that's a miserable, angry person. You have puppies and you have dogs. Why don't you just take care of your dogs and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and how everybody else? You know what I find funny? She was criticizing Randy the other day, and I just gotta say this, okay? She was criticizing Randy the other day because of what happened to Randy's dog. I don't know the exact story about Randy's dog, but down south, a lot of people like the Wells, they'll let their dogs run off the leash, okay? That's common down there. The dogs are on the property. People don't have fences. You know, they roam the property, and that's very normal for down there. Up here, people don't really do that, you know, but down south they do. Um, she's like criticizing her. Meanwhile, there's a video Tracy posted the other day where she's on a boat with her dog, and the dog jumps off into the water. Now, I thought Tracy lived in Florida. I'm not 100% sure if that's where she lives, but that's what I thought. And I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way I would ever be on any body of water in Florida and let my dog jump into the water because there's fucking alligators in every fucking body of water in Florida. Like, I would be terrified that an alligator would snatch my dog up. Her dog swam all the way from the boat, got off, went onto the shore, which would also freak me out because she's a puppy still, and she's not really 100% trained, from what I understand. And what if the dog just took off into the woods? You know? Like, that to me, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? I would never fucking do that. First of all, I would never bring my dog on a boat because I don't know why a dog would even need to go on a boat. But I get it. Different areas, different cultures, whatever. but I would be terrified that an alligator would snatch up the dog in the water or some type of sneak. Like, dude, Florida's not the place you go fucking just swimming in any body of water. I wouldn't go in any lakes, rivers, nothing in Florida. Excuse me. Sorry. You know? But like Mama T Belly has nothing to say about that, right? She's got nothing to say about that. She'll just ignore that. That her dog was in, dangerous waters and could have ran away. But all right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Alligators, snakes. Dude, we stayed at a hotel. There was this little tiny man-made drainage, pond that they had in front of the hotel, and there were 3 alligators living in there. I mean, and this thing was small. And then behind the ice rink, there was a another drainage area that had like a retainer wall around it, and there was an alligator in there too. They're all over. They're in every body of water has alligators. Like the guy at the hotel was telling me that there's uh alligators. Like he lives near a little lake. There's alligators. They come out sometimes. Sometimes they go through the sewers. Like, I don't know, man. They fucking attack dogs all the time in Florida. But then again, somebody said she didn't live there. I don't know. I don't know where she lives. I always thought she lived in Florida, but I could be wrong. I was at Disney World the week after that little boy got attacked by the alligator. I think she's part water dog, to be fair. I wouldn't do it in Florida, but if she's in Indiana, she should be good. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. That's a water dog. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not against it. I would love to have a dog that goes in the water like that. I never did my whole life, but like in Florida, you got to be careful. If she's in Indiana, no problem, But if she was in Florida, well, that's scary to me because there's alligators everywhere, and they will snatch your fucking dog up in a second. I just watched a video the other day where this guy, um, the dog got snatched by an alligator, right? Drags it under the water. This guy, it was crazy because he was smoking a cigar. He jumps in the water and fucking somehow wrestles the alligator and gets the dog out of it. Like he grabbed the alligator behind his neck, pulls it up onto the shore, and gets the dog out of the water. It was the cutest little puppy too. I think it was like a little cocker spaniel puppy or something. And he fucking somehow pried the alligator's mouth open while still smoking his cigar. It was a pretty fucking intense video. And he saved the dog. But that shit happens all the time there. My dog was a great swimmer. She would be safe swimming in the rivers, lakes, and Gulf where I live. I don't know, man. That shit would scare me. That's all I'm saying. But like, Mama T-Bell is just gonna, Mrs. fucking animal advocate. My whole point in saying that was that, Mama T-Belly, who's Mrs. Animal Advocate over there, she'll criticize everybody else and how they take care of their dogs, but she don't say shit to Tracy, who's put her dogs in some dangerous situations, kicking them and shit. Just ignore that, right? Because it's your friend. So you only care about animals when it's somebody that you hate. Okay, gotcha. You only care about animals when it's somebody who you don't likes animals. Then all of a sudden you're an animal advocate. The fuck out of here. That was my whole point of bringing that up. Not to criticize Tracy, but to criticize her friend, who's going around telling everybody how they should be raising their fucking pets. But then, her own friends, she don't say nothing to. And in my opinion, I would never put my dog in a situation like that. But, I have a Doberman. They're not really known to be swimmers. Like, I just wouldn't put them in that situation. We have tons of alligators and snakes in almost every body of water. Dude, Florida's bad. I don't know what part of Florida she's in, but I mean, I was up near Tampa and there was alligators fucking everywhere, dude. So they're everywhere. Every little body of water, there's alligators hanging out. So you need to be really fucking careful with your pets out there. Even my cousin lives down there, and she, when she lets her dogs out because she has a leak in her backyard, she has to watch the dog when it goes out. She can't just like open her back door and let the dog out because Those motherfuckers will snatch your dog within seconds. And they drag them under the water, and then that's it. But hey, my whole thing is, if you're going to criticize people and their care for their pets, then be an equal opportunist when it comes to that shit. Don't just criticize the people you don't like. You should criticize the people you don't like. You know, that makes me believe you're no fucking animal activist. You're just full of shit. You're just a shit stirrer, and you just want to criticize people that you don't like because you're a miserable bitch. You were just talking about this the other day. I was listening to your lives. You were talking about how there's, snakes and all sorts of fucking crazy shit in the rivers, in the water. What are you doing, you little monster? Oh boy, he's in the mud. He's in the mud. Now they got pythons that'll snatch up your dogs too. You Florida people are badass. Dude, I don't even know if she lives in Florida. The only reason I thought she did, but I could totally be wrong. I'm not even 100% if she lives in Florida, but I could have sworn she said she did, but I could be wrong too. Coyotes, yep. That's another thing. Like upstate, up here, you have to worry about bears, coyotes, even a fucking owl or a hawk could snatch up a small dog. So you got to be really fucking careful. I've never seen a coyote in my life. Obviously, we don't have them here, so we don't have a lot of animals here. Somebody sent me a video the other day, and they're like, Long Island bear. And I'm like, there's no fucking bears on Long Island. It wasn't a Long Island bear. It was a bear, I think, in Florida or down south somewhere. But the person that was taking the video was from Long Island. I was like, yeah, because, like, we don't have bears here. I've never seen a fucking bear on Long Island. I actually heard, though, I saw on the news, I mean, not on the news, but like in a news article, that they're introducing, I don't know if yeah, I think it was coyotes. I think they were introducing coyotes to parts of Long Island to help control something, I don't know, some type of population within the ecosystem. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We don't need no fucking coyotes running around here. We have deers, we have little foxes, which you barely ever see, but no coyotes, no bears, no nothing like that. Was it Yogi Bear? Yeah. I see them weekly here. Dude, I'd be like, what the fuck? We have coyotes now, foxes, they're super cute. I would love to see a fox. We have like raccoons, no skunks. I know people have skunks. We've talked about this before. There's no skunks here. I've never fucking seen a skunk in my life on Long Island. Uh, so I don't know why, but at this point in time, I do know why. I mean, if they died off here at some point, how are they going to get back here? Like, they'd have to, like, cross the fucking Brooklyn Bridge to get here or go through the Midtown Tunnel. You know what I'm saying? There's, like, no way for those animals to get here unless somebody actually brings them here by boat or, bridge. How would they get on an island? I guess. Rats, we got plenty of. Those we fucking have plenty of. Well, in the city. Ugh, the rats in the city are fucking huge, dude. They're like on steroids, the rats in the city. They're fucking gross, dude. I think that's why I probably would never live in Manhattan. There's so many fucking rats there. It's fucking disgusting. Two black bears. Oh, yes, we have possums. Opossums, whatever the fuck you call them. They're so ugly. Ugh. I saw a gopher for the first time in my life on Long Island. I was coming off I don't know if it was a gopher or groundhog, and I didn't even know we had those here. I was driving to my son's hockey game, and I'm like coming off the expressway, and on the corner, I'm like, what the fuck is that thing? Like, how they stand up, like, on their hind legs? I was like, what the fuck kind of animal is that? And I was like, I've never seen one of those before, like, out. You don't really see them. I didn't even know we had them here. Groundhogs and shit. Possums are disgusting. Mm, they're so fucking ugly. Snoop killed a baby possum one time. I almost had a fucking heart attack. I go to the back door to let him in, and there was literally like blood all over my patio, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what happened out here? And I see this little baby possum just like laying there, and I'm just like, oh god, I hate those fucking things. I've heard the fox dens are the reason the coyotes are coming so close to my house right now. Why? Do they eat the foxes? I've heard of fox. There's one that lives around me, but I've never seen it. My neighbors have seen it. My husband's seen it. I never saw it. Possums like to eat ticks. That is true. That is true. They're actually releasing quails in some areas where the tick populations are bad. So because apparently the quails eat the ticks, because like ticks are bad here on Long Island, really bad. Panda bears are so cute. They are super cute. And koala bears. I heard they were vicious though. The koala bears, or is it no? Is it the panda bears that are vicious? Koala bears are so cute though. That shit would be fucking weird driving down the road. I remember listening to Vinny G one time, and he was talking about how like he hit like a kangaroo or something. And I'm like, I can't imagine just like driving down the road and seeing a fucking kangaroo hopping across. Those things are crazy. What's this blue jay doing? Oh, we lay down. Ooh, the blue jays are fighting on my porch right now. The deer population is out of control. Yeah, it is. They have like an open hunt every once in a while on Fire Island to control the deers. We have deers over here. I don't see them typically like in my yard or anything, but I have seen them around in the streets like maybe once. I've seen them once, and my husband saw them once down by like the main road, which I was kind of shocked because we don't really we don't get them. They don't come in our yards over here. Dude, you better not have just peed on that. I don't think you did. Did you? No. God, man. When you have a puppy, like, every time they move, you're like, is he peeing? Is he peeing? Is he peeing? They always look like they're peeing all the time. In Zimbabwe, we would have to stop and wait for elephants? No! That's so cool, though. I love elephants and giraffes. Giraffes are fucking awesome. I heard that, like, giraffes, like, they're endangered at this point. I'm like, no, I love giraffes. They're so cool. Australia's a whole new world. People are just fine with those huntsman spiders. Oh, hell no. Hell no. I'd burn my house down. There's no fucking way. There was one time I was taking a shower here because you guys know I fucking hate bugs. Hate bugs with a passion, okay? I don't care what kind of bug it is. I don't give a fuck if it's like an ant or whatever. Well, all right, ants aren't as bad because I hate bugs, mainly that fly. Like, but I hate all bugs. I hate them all. Spiders don't bother me. I mean, depending on how big it is, they don't bother me as much. But like, I'm in the shower one day, right? And I get out of the shower and I go, oh, fuck, speaking of bugs, I just let something in my house. I don't know what the fuck it was. I'm in the shower and I get out, I take my whole shower, right? I get out to towel, dry myself off, and there is a fucking giant praying mantis in my fucking bathroom. I have no idea how this thing got in my bathroom. None. No clue. I'm like, how the fuck did this thing get in my house? For some reason, my whole life growing up, I never saw praying mantises. The only time I would ever see them was at school for some reason. So like I always thought they lived in like the school field or something. But I never saw one at my house my entire fucking life. When I moved here, I've never seen so many praying mantises in my life. I'm convinced that like somebody breeds them and lets them loose here because I just never seen so many. We saw like 3 the other day, just outside last Saturday. like little baby ones. But this was like a full grown adult fucking praying mantis in my bathroom. And like I get out and I open the shower door and this thing's head just like turns and fucking looks at me. And I was like, dude, I don't think I've been that scared in my life. I like fucking shut my bathroom door. I stuffed a towel underneath it. And I was like, oh, I didn't know what to do. My brother was actually, I was still talking to my brother at the time. I was showering because me and my brother were going to go out to lunch. And I'm like, dude, you got to go get this thing out of my bathroom. And he's like, oh, fuck no. He wouldn't even go in, my brother. He's such a bitch. But yeah, he wouldn't even go in and get it. So he's like, I drew this picture of a praying mantis. And I left a note on the door because I was like, my husband, fucking dumbass, is going to come home and he's going to open the door and let this thing out, you know? And it's going to be, he's like the worst, dude. He is the fucking worst. He knows how much I hate bugs. And like, he's like, ooh, it's not going to do anything to you. But like, even he was scared to fucking pick this thing up. He was like terrified of it. So I was like, that's it. I'm never going in my bathroom again. This praying mantis is just going to live in my bathroom because I am never going in there again. I mean, it was huge, this thing. So my husband had to go in there and he was like screaming. He had to like caught it in like a Tupperware thing and find, at first he couldn't find it. And he's just like, well, I can't find it. I was like, yo, no, you're staying in that bathroom until you find that thing. Like, I'm not going to be able to sleep for the next fucking year. If that thing doesn't if I don't know that thing was taken out of this house, I'm not going to be able to sleep. So he finally found it and he fucking trapped it in like a little container and he released it outside. I was like, how the fuck did that thing get in this house? Like how? How did it get in there? My bathroom was like all the way upstairs too. I don't know how the fuck it even got in my house and made its way up to my bathroom. Oh God, that was like the worst thing ever. No, nope, no bees. Fuck bees. Fuck dragonflies. Fuck whatever those things are. Moths. And ladybugs, all right. I'll give them a pass. But fuck all those other things. Fuck butterflies. They're just bugs with nicer outfits. They're still bugs. They still have those little fucking legs. Ugh. I hate the legs. I hate them. We went into the aquarium out here. They have a butterfly exhibit. So we went on like a class trip. Thank God my husband was with me. We went on a class trip with Jesse, right? And I was having like anxiety. I was like, dude, I'm not going into this fucking butterfly thing. Like, it's not happening, So I was like, it's not happening. My husband's like, oh, come on, just go in there, just go in there. So I walked in, dude, and like all of a sudden I look and I see like this person like 10 feet away from me with the butterflies like all over them. I like couldn't breathe, dude. I was like having a fucking major panic attack. And like they get mad at you if you're scared in there. So they're like, get out of here. The guy's like yelling at me. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I can't do this. I was like, no. Like, I didn't know it was going to be like that. I thought the butterflies would be flying like in a fucking cage or something, maybe. No, these motherfuckers are landing on people. And I was like, fuck this. Bye. I ran back out the door as soon as I seen that shit. I like couldn't breathe. I felt like I was going to fucking die. I was like, like, dude, that to me, that's like a nightmare. I'm like, what the fuck is fun about a bunch of bugs landing on you? No fucking thank you. No thank you. They are bugs with nicer outfits. They have pretty wings and shit. Yeah, they're so pretty, but they're still fucking bugs. Look at their bodies. Look at their little legs. Still bugs. Look at their antennas. That's a bug. Still a bug. And it's a bug I want fucking nothing to do with. Like, I look at those beekeeper videos where these people like put their arm in there and there's like 40 fucking 100 bees crawling on somebody's arm. Hell no. You couldn't pay me to fucking let that happen. Like, I wouldn't do that for $1 million. Put my arm in a fucking bee thing. Get the fuck out of here. Even with a glove on. Even a full beekeeper suit, I wouldn't be able to do it. I remember I used to watch like Fear Factor and they'd eat like bugs and worms. Nope. Sorry. I wouldn't even like try out for the show because that would never happen. I wouldn't even be able to like be in the same room with the bugs that they were eating, let alone fucking eat a bug. No. And the other night when I brought my dog out, we're standing on the porch, and all of a sudden I look over, dude. This beetle fucking crawls under my thing. This thing was like the size of a fucking mouse. It was huge. I was like, oh hell no. I'm like, well, I guess we're not going outside again tonight. Like, dude, I am terrified of those fucking things. And I can't stand when people are like, they're not gonna hurt you. No shit, they're not gonna hurt me. I know that. I know that they're not gonna hurt me. But I'll tell you a story one time that happened. This was fucking crazy. I was with my ex-boyfriend. I was like in high school. Or just graduated high school. It was that summer after 12th grade. We're driving over to my friend's house, and I had a Toyota Camry at the time, and I had a moonroof, right? So we're driving into the gas station. Oh, I'll never forget this, dude. I will never forget this. So I had the moonroof open, and we park at the gas station. I'm in the passenger seat, and he gets out to go pump the gas, right? All of a sudden, I feel something on my neck. So I go to like scratch my neck, and like my whole hand like fills up with something. Like I thought it was like, I don't know, maybe a fly. Like I just felt something on my neck, tickle on my neck, right? And like I go to like hit it off, and like whatever it was the size of my whole fucking hand. Okay. So I'm like, ah! Dude, I don't think I've ever screamed that loud in my entire fucking life. I fucking fling this thing off my neck, jump out of the car, and I'm like, I'm spastic when the bug lands on me, like complete spastic asshole. Like, it's like embarrassing, I'm sure. But I don't give a fuck. Like, I can't help it. It's not like I can control it. I get so freaked out that I'm like fucking freaking out, like having a complete spaz attack. So my ex, he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He was like yelling at me. He was a fucking asshole. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, one of those fucking giant beetles landed on my fucking neck. I'm screaming. So he's like, what the fuck? So I'm like, dude, I'm not getting back in the car. I'm like, I'm not fucking getting back in the car. I'm like, it's in the car. And he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, yes, it is, dude. I'm like, I flung it down. I heard it land on the floor. I flung it down, like downwards. And I'm like, I'm not fucking getting back in the car. So we're standing there for like 20 minutes arguing with each other. And he finally convinces me to get back in the fucking car. Oh my God, fucking asshole. So we get it back in the car, drive all the way to my friend's house, okay, which is about like 10 minutes away from where we were. We go to get out of the car. We park in front of the kid's house. And we get out of the car. And he opens the door. And I open my door. And like, all the interior lights turn on. I look down. This thing is right next to my fucking foot. I fucking, again, start spazzing the fuck out, screaming my head off. My friend's mom, like, comes running out of the house. She's like, what's the matter? I'm like, ah. I was like, dude, like, the funny part about it is, like, all the men that are like, oh, what's the big deal to Beetle? You think that he wanted to go pick that motherfucker up? No. 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 I'm like, go ahead, go fucking pick it up. Dude, like, that's it. I walked around with a hoodie on for the rest of the fucking summer. I still do. I don't give a fuck how hot it is. I have a hood on at night. Because if one of those motherfuckers ever lands on my neck again, I'll be like traumatized, have a heart attack and a stroke and everything else you could fucking think of. Motherfucker was crawling on my neck like a fucking huge, giant fucking beetle. Oh, God, I fucking hate those things. Yes, it filled my hand. Like, the shit was the length of all four of my fingers put together. That's how fucking big this thing was. Oh, oh. So regardless, I don't like, I had mooners in my car. Like, I don't open them at night near gas stations, especially. Oh, God, fucking things. Like, please tell me what the point of those things are. Like, just tell me. What do we need those giant beetles for? What are they accomplishing on the earth? They're not pollinating flowers. They're not fucking doing anything. They're just useless, fucking, disgusting things. I think I'm traumatized because when I was little, my cousin used to fucking chase us around with those big, we called them June bugs, but I don't think it's the same thing as what everybody else calls June bugs. I think those, uh, like the Japanese, they look like Japanese beetles, but they're bigger. I think that's what most people call June bugs. But here, we call June bugs these giant black beetles. They're like fucking 3 or 4 inches long. They're huge. and they're black and they have these big antennas. I don't. That's what we call June bugs here, because you really only see them. To be honest with you, I don't know why we call them June bugs, because you really only see them in like July, and so they should really be July bugs. But like, I hate the month of July, dude. I hate it. And then I also hate August, because that's when all the crickets come out. But but that's what we call June bugs here. And my cousin used to fucking pick them up and like chase us around with them when we were kids. And then he had this like plaque in his room. You know how like people, I don't know, dry beetles and bugs out and like put them in like frames? I don't know why. Ugh, fucking hate that thing. I fucking hate that thing. He had that thing hanging in his room, and I used to just like, I wouldn't even go near it. Like, just even knowing that the things are dead inside, I'm like, fuck that. Why do you want that hanging in your room? Dead bugs. Why? Why? I just fucking hate them. They have that shit at the mall every summer. This guy opens up this little stand and he has like old dead bugs in like frames. And I'm like, why? Why? Why do you have that? Who the fuck wants a dead bug in a frame? No thanks. Mm. Nut huggers. Oh my God, girl. No. Nope. Ugh. That's why I hate them. They like come, like, they like hit your windows and shit at night. Oh, I fucking hate those things. I just hate them. They need to all die. They do. They should just all fucking die. Those things. There's no need for them on this planet. None. Zero. But those things could like apparently survive like a nuclear fucking holocaust. Whatever. Those things could fucking survive and have survived for millions of years. But they're fucking so gross. What the fuck just jumped off my thing? Was that a squirrel or a chipmunk? Oh my God. I hate those fucking things. Squirrel. Get out of here. Oh my God. I hate those fucking things. Just hate them. I have a dead tarantula in a frame. No! My friend had a tarantula growing up. And you know when they molt, the skin comes off? Well, like one time, I guess, he got this like perfect molt where the spider, because like most of the time when it molts, it comes off in like pieces. You know what I'm saying? And you just get rid of the pieces. But there was one time where like it came off and it literally looked like it gave birth to a whole entire another spider. So his dad took it and hung it on the wall, but it wasn't in a frame or anything, you know? And we used to play pool at his house, and this fucking tarantula thing was hanging right near the pool sticks. Like, thanks. But anyway, I kind of got used to being around it, you know, just because like I hung out at my friend's house so much. Well, one night, all of our friends are over there, and they're fucking, I don't know if they eat like mushrooms or some shit. They're all tripping balls on something, right? One of my friends grabs it off the wall and fucking eats it. No thanks. I know, Mercedes girl. That's because I used up all my streaming time on StreamYards, so I'm using this other thing because I'm like, I don't really feel like paying. I don't like typically go live as often as I have this past week because I've just been on dog duty, so just sitting around. I haven't really been doing anything else. I'm on a little break. Daily ticket, nice, dude. Yeah, I'm not into fucking. Oh, I don't like tarantulas. I used to fucking like stay away. They had like, my friend had like every pet you could think of. I mean, when we were kids, he was an only child, so I feel like his parents like felt bad, and so they used to just like fill the house with pets. I mean, he had like parrots, he had fucking every pet you could think of: guinea pigs, snakes, hermit crabs, crayfish, fucking dogs, cats, um, hamsters, gerbils. I mean, he fucking had every pet you could possibly think of, and but the three pets that they kept like up until we were in high school was a tarantula, a boa constrictor, and the boa was like older than us, and then he had an iguana too. So three pets that fucking were downstairs where we used to play pool. I was like the three worst pets you could fucking have. But honestly, I used to feel bad for the snake because like it was in just like a tank. I'm like, it just sits there. But that thing was fucking huge. They used to go out, like my friends would go roadkill hunting. So like they'd go and find a dead squirrel to bring it back to feed it to the boa, or they'd go get rats. Ugh, it's fucking gross. I was never in on those missions. I was like, yeah, I'll meet you guys when you're done with that. Okay, yeah, I'm not sitting there finding roadkill. Thanks, boys. Yeah, snakes are on my fucking hell no list. Yesterday when we went into Petco, my son's like, Mom, come look at the snakes. I'm like, nope, I'm all right, thanks. The snakes and the fucking, I mean, some of the lizards are cute. Would I fucking want one? No. You know, like some of the little chameleons or whatever the fuck they're called. They're cute. Geckos, whatever the fuck they are. But do I want one in my house? No. No. My son's like begging me for a turtle. And I'm like, yeah, no. I'm like, if it eats bugs, it's not staying here, dude. Anything that eats bugs, I don't want it in my house. If I have to go buy crickets, it's not coming here, dude. I have plenty of crickets in my basement that I could eat. But I'm not buying crickets. I can't even walk near that fucking thing at Petco. They have like this whole cricket fucking thing. And I'm just like, bye. I'm not walking near. The one Petco has it like right near the door when you leave. I'm like, could you like move this thing into like a corner that people don't have to walk? Ugh, crickets are fucking gross, dude. See you in my feet of a doctor removing a big old bug. Oh no, hell no. Hell no. That's why I keep, dude, that's why you shouldn't keep your ears too clean, because when you have a little earwax in your ears, it prevents bugs from crawling into your ears. Hell no. Hell no. No snakes, no rats, no lizards, no hair. Yeah, I don't want anything that's not even, well, I shouldn't say. He wanted a gerbil or a hamster too. I was like, hell no. I'm like, that's a fucking mouse with no tail. That's what that thing is. I don't fucking want. And they smell. I have to admit though, when we were in there yesterday, we were looking at the ferrets and they're so fucking cute. Ferrets, their little faces are so cute, but would I want to own one? No, because those things smell like piss. They smell so bad. My neighbor had one when we were a kid and it used to fucking, like, he used to walk it around on a leash and it smelled so fucking bad, that thing. It smelled like piss. Like, that's the only way I could explain it. And I'm like, they're cute, but for somebody else, not for my house. But the thing used to get like lost in the house. Like it used to hide behind the refrigerator because they like to find like little holes and hide in them. So like, no, thank you. They are cute though. Their faces are so cute. I'll never forget. I think it was like 2 years ago. I was sitting up here one night. I'm smoking a cigarette. It's like the middle of November, and it was pretty late at night. And all of a sudden, this little thing just jumps up on my porch. And I'm like, look, it was an animal. And I'm like, I thought I was like half asleep. So I'm like looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck is that thing? I'm like, it looks like a ferret. But I'm like, I don't know why I was like tired. So I'm thinking like, there's no way a ferret could survive outside in the winter. It's freezing out, you know? I'm like, what the fuck would a ferret be doing anyway? You know, like what the fuck? So then I took a picture of it and then I was like, should I grab it? Like, I don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden I moved and it took off. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck that was. So I'm like Googling shit. I'm like, no, that definitely was a ferret. You know, I was like, I didn't know what it was at first because, like, you're not expecting to see a ferret on your porch, you know? So it ended up that the next day I went on Facebook and I'm like, is this somebody's pet? Like, or are they wild ferrets? Like, what's going on here? I didn't know what the fuck. And sure enough, these people that live around the corner from me, the ferret like got out. They left the window open just a tiny bit and it squeezed through the window and got out. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, like it's somebody's pet. And I fucking just sat there like watching it instead of like picking up. But I didn't know. I was like so confused because I'm like, I just couldn't, I don't know. I was like, what would a ferret be doing on my front porch in November? Otters are cute. So anyway, I felt so bad because they were walking around for like 2 days with this little squeaky toy, just walking in circles, calling this thing nonstop. And I felt so bad because I'm like, ugh, I saw it, and I fucking should have picked it up and like put it in a box or something for them. But it ended up they left the window open, and like 2 days later it just came back into the window on its own. Thank God, because I would have been like guilty had it died or something. I would have felt so bad. There's a guy on here that has otters as pets. You ever seen a tarantula where you're at? Yes. They have them out in like California and Arizona, right? Oh, they have fucking dude. Don't you guys have like scorpions or something? Like fuck no. Would I fucking fuck with a scorpion? Hell no. Fucking scorpions. In the desert, right? Yeah, no. Nope. Mm-mm. Like, we get spiders here, but like not that big ones, dude. Fucking, I would never be able to live where they get spiders that big. Like with hair on them and shit. Although I have seen some hairy ones here. Otters are cute. I just don't think they should be pets, but there's a guy on here that he has like two otters, and he like brings them all over the place to swim in pools and shit. It's fucking weird. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of keeping animals like that. Like, if they're not supposed to be pets, you know, then you probably shouldn't have them. You know what I'm saying? Like, some wild animals just, they need to be out in the wild. I'm not a big fan of people keeping wild animals as pets. You do have scorpions? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Like, what do you do when you see one of those things in your house? Like, I don't even know what I'd do. I'd fucking die. I'd burn my house down. You ever see that salt gun? It's called bug assault or something. It's like they sell it on Amazon. You could like you load it up with salt and you shoot the salt at the bugs. I'm like, yeah, that's great and all, but then you have salt all over your fucking house with the dead bug. I was watching the Kardashians and where Courtney lived. It was tarantula mating season. Oh hell no. Hell no. I couldn't get through the first like two episodes of the new Kardashians on Hulu. I tried watching it and it was just so fucking boring. I just couldn't get through it. I used to watch their show on E, but I stopped watching it like probably shit 5 years ago, maybe even more. Because like that show was on for a really long time. If you think about it, Kendall and Kylie were like little kids, like when the show started. It's just crazy to see how much transformation they've all gone through with like their like the ridiculous amounts of plastic surgery that they've all had. Like Chloe doesn't even look the same. Whatever she did to her nose, she needs to like stop. uh Kim doesn't look the same. And she was like, out of all of them, she was the one who needed the least amount of plastic surgery. No, I personally I don't think any of them needed plastic surgery. The only one that looks the same is the oldest one, Courtney. To be honest, she looks better than all of them because she's had the least amount of work done. I know she has breast implants, but like she didn't fuck with her body really. Besides that, and her face looks the same. She hasn't like gotten any, nose jobs or anything. She's the oldest one. I think she looks better than the rest of them. Yeah, they live in Calabasas. Male comes out looking for females, and there have been times where there's so many tarantulas. Ooh, ooh, no. Yeah, Chloe's starting to get the Michael Jackson nose. I don't like the way she looks. I thought she was pretty. Like, I don't know. Yeah, all right. She had like the wider nose, but like that doesn't mean that it's not a nice nose. I don't know. Like, I don't think that nose, the way she has her nose now, it doesn't even fit her. It doesn't look right. And Kim also did way too much, work with her nose. I don't know. Her face just looks different. She's pregnant again? I thought I saw that. You know what? This morning, I thought I saw something that she was pregnant. Oh, Just Angel. So you were talking about that lady yesterday, the McCrae lady, right? So after your stream ended yesterday, I typed her name into the search, and there was this channel that basically put together a whole bunch of videos from her. Dude, what a nutbag. What a fucking nutbag. I mean, the whole story is just fucking crazy. I don't know what the fuck, but it seems to me like she got involved in some well, first of all, a lot of the Jehovah Witness people do what this woman does, right? They refuse medicine and shit because they don't believe in medicine. I worked with a kid that was Jehovah Witness, and they got some fucking extreme beliefs, I guess I should say. They don't believe in he wouldn't come to work on holidays like Halloween if we all, because he would know that everybody would be all dressed up, so he always called in sick on Halloween. Any day we were having a party or celebration for anything, he would call in sick. But also the same thing with medicine. He wouldn't take aspirin. He wouldn't take any Tylenol. He wouldn't eat certain things. They have very extreme beliefs about things like that. So for her to be, the part that doesn't make sense with this woman though, is that she doesn't believe in conventional medicine, and she's playing doctor. And I see this a lot online. People are thinking that they read something online and they think that whatever it is could cure you, and it's not. You got to be careful, man. Somebody who's having seizures, you need to have real medical intervention. If you want to try natural things, homeopathic remedies alongside uh you know pharmaceuticals, fine, but you shouldn't take that chance of trying to cure something like that, without any type of real medicine. Courtney is pregnant and Chloe is pregnant. Oh my god. Through surrogacy. Oh shit. Yeah, but she's totally crazy, but people, this is what bothers me about the internet. I'm reading the comments and shit under some of these videos, and people are like, oh, she killed him. And I'm like, how did she hang this guy? That's impossible. Do I think she drove him probably crazy, or maybe to try that? Yeah. But do I think she actually did it herself? No. How would you even do that? How would you do that to somebody else? A woman do that to a man. He was found hanging in the shed. So how would she do that? I mean, dude, it is fucking crazy. Oh, have fun, crazy Gemini. Courtney's in her 40s. She's the oldest one, so she's got to be 44 or 45. I think she's 44, because she's my cousin's age. So yeah, I know what you're saying. Imagine being so rich. You're yeah, I don't feel like being pregnant, so here, you do it for me. I will watch any channel on the McCrees except Molly Go Fuckface. Oh yeah, Bex, I won't watch that fucking asshole for nothing. I don't. She's we all know why she's in this, why she's even covering it. She loves harassing people, number one. I heard yesterday that she's getting all close with the family and giving them money and shit, and it's just another chance for her to fucking exploit a family who's going through something tragic. What else is new? I wish these fucking people would really look into these assholes. Fucking Ictamel. I'm so disappointed in that guy. I saw the clip yesterday. I forgot who posted it, where he's up on her panel, and I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? Between having her up on his panel and then that fucking PI, don't you vet anybody? Don't you care what people think Well, not even that. Don't you care who you're surrounding yourself with? Or are you like really just in this for the views? Mm-mm. She'll like now act like she owns that story, you know? And that's the other part about it. Like she was the first person who discovered it. It's a crazy story, but like I don't know. I don't know if it's at the point yet where, people should be fucking harassing people. She literally drove him to unalive himself. I'm sure she did. I mean, listen, there's something wrong with the girl. She's super into like, you know, vegan. She's been taking kratom, which is like not good, and like believes that it like heals everything. And then the Jehovah Witness shit too, on top of that. So she's like, her mind is really fucking warped, this girl, and you could tell. You're like, I saw a clip of her a couple of days ago where the guy's like having a seizure, and he's like, it's really disturbing. It's like moaning and groaning. He's like moaning and groaning. And I'm like, first of all, if that's going on, why are you taping yourself while this is happening? And him, that's like so rude and invasive. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously the wife is addicted to live streaming and shit because like, dude, I mean, there's just times in life where it's just not appropriate. And like when somebody's in a hospital in a coma, you should probably stop live streaming at that point and just worry about taking care of the person. I mean, there was a clip yesterday in the one video I'm watching, and like he's in the hospital, he's on like what, life support or whatever, in a coma, and she's like all fucking done up, dressed to the nines. Her makeup's done. She got the false eyelashes on. And she's like snuggling like his head, and his face moves, and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking weird. Like, stop streaming this. It's so disgusting. Like, if you want to be mad about that, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's gross. To me, I don't know. I'm not into that shit. I'm not into like people taking pictures with somebody when they're unaware. That's not cool, you know? But like she's clearly got some fucking issues, the woman. Clearly got issues. We know exactly where this is going to end up. I just found a channel that has followed, hold on, Dre for over a year, and she said MGL is completely over the line, going real life already on this family. That's what she does. Like, dude, the family doesn't need your fucking help. There's nothing you can do to help this family. Leave them the fuck alone. Their son is fucking in a really bad situation. The last thing they need is all these assholes, these fucking vultures from YouTube and the internet reaching out to them and bothering them. She's fucking sick, dude. I mean, all these people are. I don't know how you even have the balls to contact people when they're like, I remember when I started following the Watts case, and I went on Shanann's, page, on her Facebook page, and I was just like, I could not fucking believe how many people were just on her page leaving comments, like total strangers. Like, yes, was her page open to the public? Yeah, it was, but like, I would never do that. I would never fucking leave a comment on her page. Like, knowing the whole situation that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't sit there having discussions on her fucking Facebook page in the comment section about it. Like, I don't know. I just, like, people have no fucking respect. They really don't. So, like, that disturbs me, let alone contacting the actual families, like the way that she does, where she finds them, she tracks them down, and then like reaches out to them. She like hunts them down and then fucking finds their information, and then reaches out to them the same way she did with the Ruseks, like, and Kes Gernon's family and all these other families. Like, leave these fucking people alone, dude. They're going through enough. I've had 7 seizures. Oh my God. Ugh. It's fucking weird, dude. That is sad. We know exactly where this is gonna. Yeah, she's gonna harass the shit out of this family, and then they're gonna turn. She's gonna turn on them at some point. Just like somebody texted me the other night and they're like, oh my God, she already turned on Without a Crystal Ball. And I'm like, well, that didn't last long. And then that's when Nick DeMel showed up on her panel. And Nick DeMel's like kissing her ass and she's kissing his ass. She's like, me and Justin would love to come up on your panel. You know, fucking phony Oni over there. Like, you know, she has to like bring him along for the ride. I can't wait until that shit blows up because you know it's gonna eventually. She's gonna turn on him. She turns on everybody. That woman cannot keep a friendship to save her fucking life. She makes it her story. Dude, well, these people are addicted to fucking fame and attention. I think for a lot of these people, it's more about the attention that they get, like, more so than or anything else. It's that attention that they get from people, and a lot of them don't even care if it's negative attention, as long as it's attention, you know. And it's like, I don't know, man. I just not. I don't. I don't know. I wouldn't want that type of attention on me, but that's me. That's just me. But yeah, I was listening yesterday and just like her whole that woman's whole thought process, you know, and it's really distorted, dude. She needs some serious fucking help. I feel bad. The guy was sitting there and this was an earlier video from like years ago cuz she was much heavier, and they're sitting on the couch and she's like, he's playing video games and she's like yelling at him, like, we're live. She's yelling at the kids, you know, like everybody needs to be in position for the live. It's fucking weird. And I'm like, I don't know. The whole, like, I don't know how I feel about the whole family vlogger, couple vlogger thing. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's kind of weird. Like, there's this one couple that are pretty popular. I think they're TikTokers, but I see their videos on here and they're like this total California blonde surfer couple. I don't know. The husband's like a surfer looking guy. He's fucking weird, dude. The guy creeps me out. Like, he's like so weird with the kid. Like, he's like way too excited about the kid. What the fuck's their names? Is it the hold on, I'm trying to think of their names. The Beastlies or the Beastons, something like that. The Beastons, something like that. And it's just fucking weird to me. You know, the wife's like pregnant and like I think now, and he's like fucking like it's fucking weird. Like, he's just way too excited about like everything. I'm like, there's no guy is this fucking excited about this shit. Like, these women like force their boyfriends, and I just find it so fucking weird. I would never do that to my husband. I would never force him into, like, my husband wants nothing to do with this shit. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? He's not into it. He was never into social media. When we got together, like, he didn't even have a Facebook page, nothing. You know, he wasn't into it. Like, and I respect that. You know, I respect that he doesn't want to have that. Fucking weird, dude. Oh yeah, they have like friends that look like them. They're fucking weird. The guy's like so weird with the kid. Like, he like I don't know, man. I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's just weird to me. But it's like these wives, like, they want to be TikTok stars, and like you see them, they're like filming themselves and they're always like fixing their hair, and I don't know. There's this one couple that I do like though, and they're something, I think it's Ling and Lamb or something like that. And it is funny. You know, the husband's like the husband, well, there's two couples that I like, but I still think it's weird. But the husband's like from, I think he's like African or something. I don't know. I forget exactly where he's from, but he like has an accent and he's really funny. She makes funny videos. And then there's this other couple. It's a black couple, and the girls, I think she was like engaged or something, and the fiance passed away. Then she met the other guy, and like they make funny cute videos, but like I still think it's weird because I'm like, some of the husbands in these fucking things, you could totally tell they're being forced into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like the girls, they just want to be, you know, famous or whatever, and they're like constantly sitting there like fixing their hair while they're like looking at themselves in the viewfinders, you know. And the husbands look so uncomfortable You could just tell they're being forced into it. And I'm just like, ugh. Like, I would never do that to my husband. I would never drag him into something that he didn't want to do. You know? It's fucking weird. The whole thing. And then especially with the kids. You know, like these people force their kids, and the kids usually are happy, like, to go along with it. But, like, you don't know what that's going to do to them, 10, 20 years from now, how they're going to feel that they have no privacy. I mean, I even look at some of the people in our community here that fucking do that shit with their kids. And I'm like, dude, like, leave your kids, like, mute your fucking microphone when your kids come in. Stop putting their fucking business out all the time, especially at their age when they're teenagers. Like, that's embarrassing. Mm. Like, I'll hear certain people, their kids are talking to them and they put them on speakerphone. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I would never do that to my son. Put my phone on speakerphone and not tell him, especially, And I'm like, dude, like, listen, I shared a very personal story here about my family, and they didn't have a choice, you know. But here's the difference. I protected their privacy as far as, like, their identities and shit went. Like, I don't put their pictures on screen where you could see their faces. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even call them by their real names. So nobody would know who I'm actually talking about. Nobody would know what they look like or anything. Nobody knows what my family actually looks like. So it's a little different. I don't force my son on here. I don't force people to come on here. That shit, I think, is fucking wrong. I'm doing well. Thank you, Kara. And same to you. I hope you're doing well too. Like, I personally I would be comfortable, especially with the fact that, like, if my husband doesn't want to have anything to do with this, then I have to respect my son too and his wishes with our son, you know? And it's like, I don't, uh, I don't drag people. Oh yeah, people still dug into my business. I mean, and I get it, they want to know. It's that curiosity thing, like, what does this person look like? I get it, but I would never, like, force people into my videos. Like, that's just not fucking right to do. I would never ever put my kids or boyfriend on to hear his voice. Yeah, I don't put my husband on here, dude. He doesn't want anything to do with it. I respect his wishes. He's not into social media. He's a very private person. You know, I I've always kind of just been one of those people that's, like, open, but, like, to an extent. You know what I'm saying? I don't share every fucking detail of my life, and I'm certainly not gonna do that to my kid. I'm physically doing well, but mentally not so much. What's the matter, Carrie? You okay? I'm sorry to hear that. And I know how you feel because I've been there. I've been there where you're just not in a good mental place. Trust me, I've been there. And it's hard. It's a struggle. A lot of people are going through dealing with a lot right now mentally, with the way that the world is, the economy, or whatever, going on, personal things. But yeah, I don't know. I just think the whole couple vlogging, family vlogging thing is fucking weird. Like, it's one thing to, like, make videos, but, like, here and there, but, like, to show every fucking aspect of your lives is, that's a little much. Like, there was recordings on that thing that I was listening to yesterday of her and him fighting with each other. And I'm like, is this bitch seriously, like, recording fights? Like, it's fucking weird. Just having a depression episode. Aw. You should talk to somebody, Kara, if you feel like you're getting, too depressed And don't be ashamed to, ask for help if you feel like you're getting too down, because there's nothing wrong with it. There's definitely help out there. I hate that. I hate that feeling. Just that down feeling and feeling like the world is just like nothing's going right. Trust me, I've been there. And it's just a horrible feeling. You feel like your life is never going to go back to being normal or feeling normal. It's hard right now. I know a lot of people are really struggling uh, with their mental health right now. Tuning in before I have a dog play date. Hello. Hey, Soldier. A dog play date. My little guy is, he's curled up in a ball right now, sleeping on the blanket over here. I go through that every day. Surround yourself with good people. Anxiety. Yeah. Anxiety is so fucking hard and gross. It is. Dude, anxiety is like the worst fucking feeling in the world. If you don't have it, you just don't understand how horrible it feels. It's like so scary to feel that feeling, you know? It's like that fucking helpless like feeling. It's horrible. With your heart racing, your body's like fucking, your body like almost turns against you, you know? You're like having pains and just all sorts of fucking weird shit, you know? You feel like you can't breathe. It's the worst feeling in the world. It's so fucking horrible. And it's really horrible. Like, people just don't get, once you get into that like depressive state of mind, it's very hard to pull yourself out of it, you know? Like, people say things like, oh, just think positive, and you're like, yeah, it's not that easy, you know? It's not. It's very hard, but I think one of the most important things is just talking to somebody about it, because that definitely could help, you know. It might not solve everything, but it'll definitely help you a little bit to talk about it, because a lot of the times when people get depressed and down, they don't want to burden people, or they start feeling ashamed to be sad or whatever the feeling is, you know, and then they keep it all inside. And like, to me, that's the worst thing you can do, is not talk about it, because everybody deals with depression at some point in their lives, whether they want to or not. You know, I know there's different severities, and some people are clinically depressed, and, you know, it's because of chemicals in their brain that, you know, make them that way. And some people are depressed because of situations that they're in. But either way, I definitely think it's important to talk to people about it, whether it's a friend, a family member, a therapist, whatever, to get your feelings out. And it does help to know that other people are feeling what you're feeling, or have felt what you're feeling, and understand what you're going through. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Kara. Definitely need to keep it, keep an open mind, and keep communication open with people, because it does help. It really does. Don't keep it bottled up inside. That's one of the worst things you can do for yourself, if you keep it all bottled up, because it just starts to build and build and build and build, and that's not good. Not good at all. If you find yourself falling into patterns and routines when you're depressed, try to do a few activities that are different. Change it up a bit. That helps me. Yeah. It's so hard, because like, you really do have to push yourself sometimes. Like, I remember, a couple years ago when I was feeling that way, it really just felt like your whole body feels heavy. Your whole body, everything about you just feels heavy, you know? And like, just, I remember feeling like, just like doing the dishes felt like such a fucking monumental task to take care of. And then I would end up getting so overwhelmed by everything, because like, everything just felt so hard to do. It felt like I just didn't have the energy to do anything, and like, it just felt so hard. And you really have to push yourself to just get up and at least do one thing, just one thing, just take care of one thing, whether it's yourself, taking a shower. Because I know that, like, when you're depressed, sometimes you don't even want to take care of yourself. you know that's too much effort. Just to get out of fucking bed sometimes felt like too much effort for me. Like, that feeling is horrible, dude. It's a fucking horrible feeling. I look back now and I realized how bad I actually was. I was like, I really felt like so fucking overwhelmed, dude. Just so overwhelmed by everything. Everything felt like it was like impossible. Like the easiest things. Just having to go to the store felt like a fucking chore to me. It was bad. But you have to push yourself. Mm. Hold on. Sorry. I just went down the wrong way. It will pass. It will pass. CK, what happened? Is she all right? Taking a shower feels like climbing a fucking mountain. It does. It's like, then you just get into that whole thought, like, why even bother? You know what I'm saying? And it's just really, it's horrible. It's fucking horrible. I can't believe the difference in the way I felt now and I felt like 3 years ago, even. Like just 2 years ago. I felt horrible, dude. And I really felt like I was never going to be happy again and I was never going to feel normal again. And that feeling just in and of itself is really fucking hard to deal with. Scary. It's really scary. I have a whole cabinet filled with like all different types of supplements and shit because I really didn't want to go take medication. I was really trying to avoid having to go take any type of pharmaceutical like medication for depression because that shit scares me, because it fucks with the chemicals in your brain and everything. And I was like, I could get through this. Like, I could try. And I would take things and it wouldn't help. And I realized that it was just like, I had to just let time pass, in my situation. I'm not saying that this works for everybody because obviously everybody's situation is different, and their depression stems from something different. Just in my situation, like, you can't rush the feeling. You can't rush through it. And I see so many people trying to do that and you just can't. You just have to let time pass and get through it. Just the best thing I tried to do is just keep myself busy, because especially when you're home and you don't work or anything, you don't have that distraction. And so you kind of have to push yourself through it to keep yourself, busy doing things. Like, I would get ideas to do things, right? Like, I'd be like, oh, I wanted to draw. So I'd go out and buy art supplies. And then those art supplies would just sit in my cabinet because I just like didn't have the energy or the creative feeling enough to do them, you know? And I just kept pushing myself and pushing myself. For her strength and healing, it can't hurt anyway. I'm sorry, my sweet friend. Going outside can help too. A walk or run, it produces good hormones. Yeah, that is true. That is very true. I love being outside. I feel like when I'm outside, it just, I'm in a different, world. When you stay in the house all the time, that gets depressing. You definitely need to go out and get fresh air and take a walk and try to, get some exercise even when it sucks. I walked a lot during that time. I would walk just around my block like 100 times just to like move. You're not alone. You're certainly not alone. Everybody deals with depression at some point in their lives, whether they can admit it or not. You know, we all deal with it. It's totally normal. It's different for everybody, but it's totally normal to get down and feel, you know, not happy about your life. But you will get better. Mm. You just have to do whatever it is in baby steps. It's not going to happen all at once. I think that's one of the worst things about depression is that overwhelming feeling of like everything is wrong, you know, or you have to fix everything at once. And that's just not reality. You know, whatever it is, you have to break it down into little sections and then take out each one of those sections one by one. Sometimes it's just a matter of letting time pass and letting yourself mentally heal from something. But it's fucking horrible to feel that way. Everybody in here has been there. Everybody. I don't think I've ever met anybody who hasn't gone through some, you know, state where they were depressed like that. It happens. Double check the Lord. What's that, CK? Hold on, let me see. She's so afraid she will lose her job. I hope that they can't do that. CK, that's fucked up. That would be really fucked up if she lost her job for being in the hospital. I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to do that, but yeah, I would check the laws in your state. I feel like I lost myself as a person. I felt like that too at one time, Kara, but you're still there. You just got to find yourself again. You're not lost. You're still there. You just got to find yourself again. Which is hard to do because I had to do it too. I was like, I lost myself. I'll never be the same. I'll never fucking, you know, feel creative again. I'll never want to, whatever it is that I used to do that I enjoyed. I didn't enjoy any of it anymore, you know, and I felt like I never was going to enjoy it again. And then slowly but surely, I did. I just had to let the time pass and process whatever the fuck it was in my mind and then deal with it. And then after that, after I dealt with everything, I figured out a way to get back to that person that I was. It took time though. That's the thing. We get so hard on ourselves thinking that it has to happen quick, you know, and it doesn't. You need to take time and slowly get through it. But know that you're going to get through it. You know what I'm saying? You're still there. You're not gone. You're just feeling that way right now. Your brain is telling you that you're feeling that way right now for whatever reason, but you're still in there and you'll find yourself again. You just have to do it slowly, you know? Find something, just one thing that you used to enjoy doing, whatever it is, whether it's taking a walk or whatever, and try to do that thing, you know? And then you'll be like, oh shit, I forgot what it felt like to do this. It feels good. And then you slowly go. You'll get there. It is hard to process things. I mean, definitely helped me on here to like talk about my story and all the shit that I went through because I was also able to go back and look at it, right? And listen to it. And it helped me process it. Like, okay, I'm not fucking crazy, right? I really went through fucking some fucked up shit, right? So I'm not crazy for feeling the way that I felt because sometimes you can feel that way. Oh, what a pretty bird. I don't know what kind of bird that was, but it was really pretty. Um, you know, you start feeling like you're crazy, you know? So I went back and I listened to myself, and I'm not saying you have to make YouTube videos, but maybe record yourself talking about whatever it is that's bothering you, and then you could go back and listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it helps you kind of just get it out and then process it or write it down maybe write your feelings down. That was another thing that helped me was writing. I felt a lot better just getting it out, you know? Just getting the thoughts out of my head. Like, for instance, when I was fighting with my brother and his wife, I couldn't react to her in the way that I wanted to, you know, which was very angry and aggressive. So what I would do is I would respond to her emails in a really fucking aggressive way, the way that I normally would, but I would never send them because it would get my feeling out. I would get that feeling out of the anger that I was feeling towards her, but I wouldn't have to deal with the consequences of that. So, you know what I'm saying? So I would get it out, and just writing it down helped me get it out. And even just reading it over maybe 3 times, would help me just get that feeling out and then move on from it. Then I was able to process it and move on from it. I mean, I find writing therapeutic. I know it's not for everybody, but I mean, it's worth a shot. Let me pull myself out. Now it's just hard to pull myself out of this. You will do it, though. When I got into my battle of wanting to take my own life, I had to keep telling myself my babies needed me, and that started to help me pull myself out. Just now, it's hard to pull myself out. Well, your babies still need you. They still do. And if you start really feeling down where this is getting out of your control, then maybe it's time to explore, the option of medication if you're not already on it. You don't have to share. I'm just putting that out there. And don't feel ashamed for that. There's thousands of people that have to do it just to get through, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, vitamins can help. Vitamin D could help. Um, Definitely. Also, when people get depressed, make sure you go to your doctor and see if you have a medical problem, because sometimes people don't know this, but your thyroid, if you have thyroid disease, that could cause depression, you know? Um, so you want to make sure your vitamin levels and your hormone levels are good too and in check, because if you're low on vitamin D, that could cause you to be depressed. If you're not producing enough hormone from your thyroid, that could cause you to be depressed. So definitely look into, those things too, to make sure that it's not a physical reason for why you're feeling that way. No, nobody gets enough vitamin D. I'm deficient on vitamin D. In fact, when I was just coughing and choking over here 2 seconds ago, I was taking my vitamin D. I was swallowing. It went down the wrong way, but the coffee that I was swallowing it with. But I have to take it. I'm low. I'm extremely low on vitamin D. And I'm outside all the time. I don't know why I'm so low on it. Mm. But it's a very important vitamin. If you buy vitamin D too, make sure like the one I take has coconut oil in it, because it's fat soluble, and you need to take it with something that has fat, like fatty, so that your body absorbs it better. You don't want to take it, with just water or something, because that's not going to really, help you. You need something to help it break down in your body a little bit better, because your body doesn't really break it down good enough on its own and absorb it. You want something that's going to help your body absorb it better. Drop off OV. Oh, he'll keep you plenty busy, CK. If nothing else works, go to your doctor and look and see what he or she could do for you. It's worth it for your babies. You will be okay. That's so true. So true. I've never gotten to that feeling. She wants me to try my depression meds first. Well, then, you know what, Kara? I would ask for maybe find a different doctor, because really that's what they should be checking before they put you on any medication. That sounds like an irresponsible doctor to me that doesn't want to do his job or her job. Depression's rough, man. I will be 30. Oh, you're so young. Yeah, I would definitely see if you could find a different doctor. That doesn't. A lot of doctors, especially when you're young, they just oh, you're young, you're healthy. And they'll fucking gaslight you. You'll be feeling something and you'll be like, no, I'm really feeling this, whatever it is. And they'll gaslight you because your age, especially if you're a woman. Women tend to get fucking medically gaslit more than any other um, person on the planet. It's a real thing. Medical gaslighting. Look it up. They will, um, they'll gaslight you into thinking that there's nothing wrong with you. Trouble sleeping with no night sweats. Docs need to know that big pharma isn't the answer. I agree, Badger. They need to know that because, that's like the simple solution is like, here, just take a pill. Even with depression medication, they sometimes people have to go through like 4 or 5 of them until they find one that actually works for them, or their dosage might not be, the proper dosage. So they have to go back to their doctor a whole bunch of times to get the right dosage for their body. Everybody's different. There's no one size fits all cure when it comes to people's mental health. I would definitely ask them to test your, vitamin levels and hormone levels. And if they won't, then find a doctor that will, before you get on depression medication. That was the big thing for me, was like, I was just like, I don't want to become dependent on a medication, because I didn't feel that my depression that I was dealing with at the time was medically, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it was a chemically induced depression. I felt like it was a situational depression that I was dealing with. It was because of all the shit I was going through at that time and all the stress I had dealt with. So for me, taking medicine, it was like really, really, really a last resort for me. So that's why I was trying all these different, supplements and vitamins and shit, and it wasn't helping. And at the end of the day, it was just I just had to let time pass, and that was really the answer for my situation, you know. Um, but everybody's situation is different, and it depends on what your depression's caused by and how, you know, there's so many different factors. It's like, so depression is just so complicated. Mental health in general just is so complicated because everybody's different. And I hate when doctors just try to, boom, throw you on medication like that's the answer, because it could be something else. They should really check out other things first before just throwing you on an antidepressant, in my opinion. And I'm not against antidepressants at all. I just, for my situation, I didn't feel like they were necessary. I felt like I I know what's causing my depression. I don't I don't think there's anything chemically wrong in my brain necessarily. It's just the situation that I was in was causing it. I was grieving. I was grieving a lot, and I was having a really hard time. Me too. I went through a hard time and it made me feel bad, but I refused meds, waited it out, and was fine after the situation settled. Exactly. And dozen stuff. I feel a little bit better talking to all you. So thank you guys so much. Anytime, you know, especially women, because we have our hormones are all fucking out of whack because of all the food that we eat and shit, and the way that, the animals, they feed the animals that we eat, and the way that they grow our vegetables and shit. Like, it's all out of whack. Our fucking bodies and hormones are all out of whack, compared to how they were years ago. And so, doctors really need to look into that. Change your diet. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a one, you got to change things too when you're depressed. You have to be willing to make changes in your life to feel better, you know? I got to get off here in a few minutes because I got to go somewhere, but I still have hot flashes, coffee until I set it off, but do it better. I still need a fan on me even in winter. Kara, if you need to talk though, my email's in my about section. change your diet and exercise makes a huge difference for me. I went through this with my mom because my mom was, feeling really depressed the last like probably decade of her life, for my dad passing away. And, there was a whole bunch of things. There was a whole bunch of reasons. And I used to feel like she was running in a hamster wheel, like, because she had, there was all different things that she was upset about. And I would always tell her, the same way she would tell me when I would get down over things, like, break it down into like little sections and the things that you want to fix. Like, I know one of the things that really bothered her was her weight, and I'm like, you got to get yourself, like, she got depressed, right? So then it would cause her to eat more. Eating more would then cause her to feel bad about herself, because then she would gain weight. It was like there was this commercial back in the day, I'll never forget it, and that's the only way I could explain depression. It was a commercial about, for like a technical school or something like that, and it would go, I don't have a job because I don't have any skills. I don't have skills because I didn't go to school. I didn't go to school because I don't have a job. And it just like kept going, like all these reasons. And I feel like that's how, my mom was like, it was like, well, I'm sad because I'm alone, so I eat and then I'm sad because I'm depressed. And it just like keeps building up. And I'm like, you have to tackle the biggest thing first, and that I think thought always was her weight. Once you lose weight, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. Get on a diet, start eating better, and that'll help you. I don't care how you look, but you do, and it's making you depressed. So you need to fix that, that should be the first thing you fix. When you feel good about yourself and the way you look, you're going to feel better about a lot of other things. You're going to have more confidence, It was really hard, dude. It was really hard to help her sometimes because she really didn't want to do much to help herself. And I mean, I would go to the ends of the earth to help her. Yeah, I offered to go to therapy with her. I mean, it was a struggle. It was a huge struggle. We go watch me go through the roughest time of my life. Being at home isn't good for me. So after we moved here, it really messed me up. It's not for everybody. I went through a big depression when I, you know, stayed home. I think, I don't know if I had like postpartum depression because I had Jesse, and I really did. I went through a big change. It was a rough adjustment for me to go from working and having my own money and just that whole aspect of, socializing with people when you're out, when you're at work, like, just suddenly stopped, and I felt like I like almost like didn't have a purpose anymore. It was really hard for me to get through that. I will be animal sitting. My issue is I put everyone before me when everyone else's needs were met. I didn't have enough energy. And that's the problem too. And I think we all do that as women, is that we put everybody else before ourselves. And it's very, I tell everybody this, it's very important. You need to take time out to take care of yourselves. You have to. It's so, when I was going through this whole thing where I started getting depressed with being home with my son all day, you know, and it's like I had no adult interaction, my whole day was a baby crying. You know what I'm saying? And it was like you kind of start to go a little nuts. You're not sleeping right. You got the baby. I have no interaction with anybody, no social interaction with anybody except my husband and a baby. And it was really starting to wear on me. And it finally got to a point where I kind of like freaked out, and I told my husband, I'm like, I need a break. So we made a deal that every Wednesday night I would go out and just go shopping or do my thing, whatever I wanted to do. And he would, stay with the baby on whatever. Oh my God. Holy shit. Hold on. Wow, that was so cool. Dude, I'm sorry. That was the fucking coolest thing I ever seen. Yo, there was a fucking, holy shit. There was a great horned owl, right? Fucking huge owl just chasing a bird. That was so fucking cool, man. You don't see owls around here. Sorry. I just got so excited about that. This fucking huge owl just flew by. That was so fucking cool. What time is it? Because I got to check my Ring camera, see if I can see him on there. All right. It's 11:57. That was so cool. Sorry. I just got way too excited about that. That was so cool. Wow. Anyway, but yeah, so we made a little deal, so that I could get that mental break and get out of the house and do something that wasn't related to taking care of a baby. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, men don't realize it. Like, you get a break, you go to work all day, and then you come home. I'm sitting here literally day and night with a baby. Like, and, it's wearing on me. And so we made that little deal so that I got out of the house, once a week and just did my own thing, whatever it was, whatever I wanted to do, whether it was go out with a friend or, go get dinner with friends or go shopping, go to the mall, just do something that doesn't have anything to do with a baby, and taking care of a baby. And I have to say, it really did help. It helped a lot. Just to know, it gave me something to look forward to every week, and it just gave me, that break that I really just needed. Because it is a lot, We don't like to admit it, but it's a lot, dude. It's a lot to, be stuck home with kids or whatever, or just be constantly taking care of other people all the time. So I always tell Mercedes girl she needs a break because she takes care of her mother, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It could mentally wear on you when you're devoting your whole entire life to taking care of everybody else, and you kind of forget yourself. And I was one of those people that did that my whole entire life. I always put myself last and forgot to take care of myself, and that's probably another thing I did in the last couple of years, like cutting off contact with my family and just remembering to take care of my own mental health and my own feelings, putting my own feelings, ahead of everybody else's, because I was like a huge people pleaser, fixer, and I just got to a point in my life where I realized that, like, that was fucking me up. you know I was making other people happy while making myself miserable. You really do need to remember to take care of yourself. It's very important. So if that's what you have to do, you know what I'm saying? Make a deal with your husband. Go out, get your nails done. Go get your hair done. Go do something that's gonna make for you and only you, and not, that's the most important thing. Take time and don't feel guilty about it, because that's, it is hard at first. You feel guilty. You feel like, oh my God, am I being selfish, taking care of myself? I mean, there's some people out there, I'm not going to say any names, but we all know, who, make sure, I don't know even when they take care of their family, because they're making sure that they're going on all these little vacations, they go to concerts, and they pretty much seems like their whole life is worrying about themselves before their families. But, the rest of us, women who actually take care of our families and shit, it could get very hard sometimes, and you really need to remember to take time out for yourself and take care of yourself. I see a lot of moms doing that. Ooh, yeah, she seems overwhelmed. I think we do it to ourselves sometimes. We just put so much pressure on ourselves to, like, be so perfect and take care of everybody and make sure that everybody else is happy, and we just totally forget about ourselves, and we just can't do that. We have to remember to take care of ourselves. Like, for me, I got to do it today. Today's that day where I got to take care of myself. you know I'm like, all right, I need to take a shower today. I need to get dressed. Like, I need to take care of myself. I've been sitting here with a puppy dog all week. I got to remember to take care of myself too. Don't feel guilty. You shouldn't feel guilty, Mercedes girl. You have to do it for your own sanity. You know, those little breaks, you need them. You just need them. Don't feel guilty about it. It's life, and you need to do it for yourself. You can't take. I always tell people this. How could you take care of somebody else? When you don't take care of yourself? You know what I'm saying? You have to make sure you take care because it makes you a better caretaker when you take care of yourself too. When you're so stressed out and aggravated and, you know, exhausted, that you're not going to be any good at taking care of somebody else. So you have to remember to take care of yourself, get sleep, you know, make sure you take care of yourself. Yeah, don't feel guilty. Totally normal to feel. I mean, listen, it's normal to feel guilty because I know it is. I used to feel guilty when I was caring for my mom. I remember there was one time when she was in the hospital and I hadn't seen my best friend, you know, in 2 years at that point in time. And she was here and she asked if I wanted to come meet her in the city. And I felt so fucking guilty going that day. I'm so guilty, you know, and my mom's like, just go, you need a break. And I was like, you know what, I did, I went, and I was so happy I did it because I really was like, you know, running myself into the ground. I mean, I hadn't done anything enjoyable, you know, in so long. And I just like that ride, you know, on the train to the city by myself, just kind of looking out the window and just looking at the scenery. Like I needed that. I just needed that break to like not be thinking about medication and hospitals and, you know, what's happening and how are we going to do this, you know what I'm saying? It was nice and much needed, and I'll never regret doing it, you know. It's really fucking hard though. I mean, there was a few times during when my mom was sick that I really felt like that. Like there was this, you know, she had her surgery. I was at her house every day, you know, going food shopping for her, going food shopping for me, cleaning out her fridge, helping her clean her house, helping her clean her clothes, you know, and it was bringing her to her doctor's appointments, doing all that shit. And it was like, I stayed home for like 3 days by, you know, it was like a couple of months after she had her surgery. And I finally felt like, okay, I don't need to go there every single day. I felt so guilty for doing that, you know, but I needed to do it. I hadn't seen my family. I hadn't spent time with my husband. Like I had to do it. You know, I just had to take that time out for a few days and just take care of myself because it's exhausting to constantly be worrying and thinking of all that shit all the time. I'm feeling that now since I haven't slept well in the last 4 days. My body feels like I've been beat up. Having breaks does take a toll on you after a while. You definitely need them. You do. You need to get a good night's sleep. I mean, a good night's sleep could really just help a lot, you know, and let yourself just do it. Take some melatonin or something, knock yourself out for a good fucking 8 hours, maybe even more, and, you know, it'll recharge your batteries. Sleep is very important. I know it's hard to sleep when you're taking care of somebody because I didn't sleep the last 2 years of my mom's life. I barely slept. When she passed away, and then after we settled her estate, I don't think I've ever slept that much in my life, in my fucking life. I was so exhausted from being so stressed out for years that I just slept. Like my husband would just let me sleep. Like on a Saturday, he would just let me sleep and I would sleep all fucking day. I don't do that anymore, but you know, that year I needed that sleep so bad. I mean, I don't think I ever slept that much in my life. I needed it. My body needed it. I needed it. My mind needed it, you know? I mean, I think I was also dealing with a little depression too, which will make you sleep a lot, but I needed to do it. Whatever it was, I just needed that time where I just slept like a lot. It was like I was sleeping for like I was catching up on the sleep that I lost for like 3 years. 3 years I didn't sleep. I mean, because I was constantly worrying, you know? So, and then it was just like, I felt like fucking Sleeping Beauty. Like I was in like a fucking coma. It was weird, but I needed it. I think that helped me a lot to just go through that year where I just fucking slept like nonstop. It felt like, like I got to a point though where I was like, holy shit, I'm missing life. Like I was literally sleeping my fucking life away. That's what it felt like. But I guess my body needed it, you know? So it was weird, but it was necessary. Take a nice long hot shower, whatever you got to do. Just you need to relax every once in a while. It can do wonders for you. But all right, I have to end this now because I really do need to get a move here. But listen, if anybody out there needs help or needs to talk to somebody, you know, just to vent, whatever, my email's in my, about section, and I'm always here if you guys need to talk. So anyway, uh, yeah, let me go because I gotta get moving. But hopefully you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you guys maybe sometime next week. All right, I'm out.